All good? Okay, good. Awesome. Thanks, Amy. All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining on a early-ish Thursday morning. So my name is Rebecca Hawthorn. I'm going to be chatting with you today. Today's probably going to be a little bit more casual than kind of how I normally do this because we have a nice small group, which is actually really great. So we can get a little bit more personalized and custom with what we're talking about. Also hoping to do some sharing and actually come around to each of you and give you maybe some personalized chats about how Google could potentially fit for your business and what areas you want your business to grow and maybe if it's a fit for Google Ads. It's kind of hard with Google Ads because I can tell you about it and I can tell you why it's beneficial and show you the platform and all of that stuff. But it really comes down to learning about your business, what area needs to grow for you, if it's just general, if there's a specific segment of your business that needs to grow, and really what campaigns would do that for you, on what budget, all of that stuff. So we'll hopefully go through all of that. Hold on. I was really excited about the clicker.
Is it not working?
I don't think so. I'm so excited about the clicker. Maybe I'm not in a good enough position. Let's try it this way. Darn.
Is it on?
That's a great question. How do you turn it on?
Is it charged?
We were having fun with it earlier. I don't know if the red button at the top, maybe.
It was working earlier?
It was. Yeah, it was. I was very excited about it. I was like, I don't normally have a clicker. Okay. Can you move there? Oh, maybe it's because of that. Yeah, it could be. They're probably competing for space. Well, okay. I can use them now. Sorry, I can just toggle on the computer or whatever is easier. You should just scroll down. It's just PDF. Oh, perfect.
There we go. Okay, that's your next one?
Yeah, that's
okay,
perfect. Yeah. So we'll go through kind of who I am just briefly so you know I'm not just a schmuck off the street who's trying to teach you about Google Ads. And then we'll talk about being ready for paid ads because sometimes there is actually a reason to wait in terms of investing in paid ads in your business. It's not for everybody, depending on where your business is at right now. We'll talk about Google Ads, kind of the history, benefits, and user behavior. I'll show you how to set up the new account. And then we'll go over kind of campaign review. We'll talk about the sales funnel and how Google can help you through each sales funnel that your customer potentially goes through. We'll do a little live demo. We'll talk about some different campaign styles and some other things that are important to note. And then after, I'm hoping to go around and chat with each of you, learn a little bit more about your business and kind of talk about that. Okay, we'll do the next slide, please. Okay, so if you don't know me, my name's Rebecca. I was actually born and raised in Port Hope. All those years back, getting older. And then I moved out to the West Coast for a little while, lived there for 5 years, actually where I started my business. So still have a lot of clients out west, some locally. I actually started out more so in the hospitality industry, working at a hotel and a spa, and kind of grew my marketing skills from there. Started out kind of just organic social media, but really learned along the way. It's been about 5 years of learning Google Ads kind of in and out. Really grew to love that portion of things, kind of seeing how it impacts people's businesses and actually makes them money. That's the hard part about organic social media is sometimes you don't see that ROI. So I love working with businesses where I can actually say, okay, we saw some serious revenue come in through these efforts. Really enjoy that. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I have 2 wonderful kids, 3 and 2, who keep me very, very busy. Aside from that, huge coffee lover. I love dogs. Yeah, just a big mushy bear, really. Okay, we'll go to the next one. So yeah, this is really just a slide dedicated to setting the stage for what I think has to be in place before you jump into Google Ads. I'm gonna go ahead and assume most of you have this in place, but I like to talk about it anyways because I never want to make assumptions. So Google Ads can be very effective, but it is also, there is the chance that it may be ineffective if, for example, you have a website that is not functioning properly. If you have a website that's really old and super slow, maybe doesn't have a really good user experience, I would recommend investing in fixing that before you go into Google Ads. The only reason for that is when we do any type of Google Ads, we're pointing people to your website, right? For the most part, that's the goal, is we're increasing traffic to your website. But if people land there and they can't see it on their phone because it's not mobile friendly, it's too slow, or they can't find the information that they're looking for, likely the end action, which is probably a lead form or a purchase or something like that, probably isn't going to happen, right? So that's really, really important. Ideally, you would also know quite a bit about your target market. So who are the people that you're trying to talk to? What age demographic are they in? Where do they live? What type of interests do they have? If you have all of that information, there's some pretty cool ways we can target people on Google Ads and get really specific, actually. If we go too broad, generally the ads are a little bit less effective and they cost us a bit more money. So if we can know that information, that would be awesome. And then obviously too, like knowing your goals. A lot of the time it's like, I just want people to know about my brand. And if brand awareness is the goal, then we can do that. If it's getting calls, to your business phone number, we can also do that. Is it a lead form? But we don't want to just run Google Ads just to run Google Ads. We want to run them for a specific purpose because the system is actually optimized in a way where if we pick that goal, it will help you accomplish that goal. So we have to choose a goal and we have to be very specific about it. And then the other one is good photos and videos. I know you probably hear this all the time as business owners, but the campaigns are really only as good as the images, the descriptions, the headlines, and the videos that we feed it. So if you have professional photography, that's great. If you don't, I have absolutely run Google Ads on cell phone quality images and they have worked. But they need to be, they can't be blurry, that type of thing. It just won't work. So those are kind of like the basics before we start. All right, who has used Google in the last couple of days? Who has searched for something? Yeah, okay. Okay, so we all know what Google is. It's been around since 1998. It actually started as a search engine, but obviously now it's evolved into a million different things. We have Gmail, we have obviously Google Documents, and now it's a massive advertising platform. The largest, actually. It owns about, I think, 98% of the search market. So it is the only one that matters, if I'm being honest. 92. So Bing and Yahoo own the rest. You can advertise on Bing and Yahoo. I've done it and I haven't found it super effective. So yeah, they're big. They actually estimate that there's 8.5 billion searches every single day. And actually a huge portion of those are brand new searches. So whatever that person is putting into Google has actually never been searched for. So part of what Google does is constantly index these searches. So when someone searches for something that's completely new, they're logging it, they're recording it, and potentially that's the first time anyone's ever looked up that question. I don't know about you, but I have kids and I've looked up some weird questions on Google. So I'm probably in there a few times.
Is that why we get so many varying answers?
Absolutely, yeah, it's definitely part of it, right? When you ask Google a question, it's pulling in information from the craziest array of sources. So, it can be great because it's giving you information. It's trying to pull the best information, but it can also be scary because sometimes the information isn't 100% accurate either, right?
And it's hard to know where to go.
It is hard to know, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at, is that everybody can put anything out on the internet. So we're always just trying to go to trusted sources, right? What I think is cool is that 46% of Google searches have local intent. So that means for us local business owners, almost 50% of people are looking for a local service or product, which is huge. And more than 84% of businesses plan on using Google Ads in 2024. And if you didn't know, Google owns a lot of different platforms. They own YouTube, Looker, which is like a reporting system. I mean, they own parts of Amazon, like they really have their hands in a lot of different pots, so, you know, they're well versed in getting, ads into the right places because they own all these various businesses. Okay. Okay, and just a little chat on user behavior, because I think it's important to understand how people are using this search engine to function from day to day. So 98% of people obviously prefer to shop online. A huge portion of that is searches into Google. So it might be like, you know, baby clothes, or it might be best places to shop in Belleville, things like that. People are using it to find stores to go to, but also for online shopping too. And then 75% of users state that ads in Google search results make their searches easier. And it's crazy because 50% of people actually don't know when they're being served a paid ad from Google versus an organic search result, which is great, kind of scary, but great. So, you know, when you show up at the top and it has that little sponsored tag, that's a paid ad, but it's so small that a lot of people can't actually distinguish between the two. So you can, that's the point of Google Ads, is that you're paying to show up at the top of that list. So that, I mean, we're a fairly lazy generation. We don't love to scroll down and find all the options, right? If there's one at the very top that looks legitimate and viable, then we'll usually click on that first. 65% of people click on ads while they're looking to purchase something. 90% say that ads play a sizable role in influencing their purchase decisions, which we know across kind of all channels. Yeah, 33% of users click on ads because they help answer a particular question. 26% of users click on ads because they mention a brand and or a user that they're familiar with. So there's that brand awareness piece that a lot of people want to build on. Next one. All right, and in terms of benefits, I think it's pretty obvious. But I like to talk about this because people question, you know, the effectiveness of Google Ads. I think it's only ineffective if you go about it the wrong way, or if you've done something that potentially, you know, isn't working well. To be honest, I've seen only ever good results on Google Ads, but you have to do it right. If it's not done right and the strategy is not there, you're likely going to lose the money. But usually it works pretty well. So Google Ads allows you to target consumers in many different ways. So obviously when you search into Google, if you're bidding on those terms and you're purchasing those terms that people are searching on, those are called keywords. So you can bid on keywords. You can target by location. You can actually target by days of the week, times of the day. You can target by language. You can target by device. So a desktop versus a mobile device. There's all these different ways that you can target on Google. It's very vast. There's also no cost requirement, which I like. I'm going to show you later. I have a client in Kingston. She only spends $300 a month. That's it. And her ROI, return on ad spend or investment, is probably like 300%. Super tiny budget, but very effective. So you don't have to spend, anybody who tells you that you need to spend as a small business owner like $2,000 a month, you could potentially, but do you need to start out? Probably not. Especially if your demographic is pretty small. When we get into places like Toronto, like if you wanted to run an ad to target the GTA, which a lot of us do because we're in that corridor, right? A little bit more expensive because it's a huge market, right? And there's a lot more competition as well. So that's what makes it a little bit tough in terms of the budget, but there is no cost requirement. There's no minimum. You can spend $1 a day and still run your ad. It also allows you to track some key metrics such as purchases, website clicks, all of that stuff. I think that that's huge for businesses because you can obviously have a lot of information come from your website or what you know about your business, but to actually have some key metrics come from these ads to tell you, hey, this ad was way more popular than this one. And people really liked this image, but they didn't like this one. Or people are super attracted to this way of saying things, but they didn't really click on this. It's good information as to what your consumers kind of identify with and maybe what you need to put more of on your website or your social media marketing, right? So it's good insights. It allows you to advertise based on objective, like I said. So if you only want to do brand awareness, you can easily do that on Google and it's super cost effective. But you can also market to clicks through to your website, purchases, filling out a lead form on your website. Lead forms are fantastic for service-based businesses. Service-based businesses have a little bit of a harder time because people can't purchase something online, right? But a lead form or calls are a helpful way to get business. So that's really great. It also allows you to access a wide variety of marketing options. And it gets you into different channels like the search engine, Gmail, YouTube, Maps, Discover. Discover is like 20 million websites that are under the Google umbrella. So gets you in all those places, which is super cool. Okay, so we'll review this quickly. If you want to open up your computer and do this, you can, but I can go through this with you later as well. Just want to talk about setting up a Google Ads account. It's very easy. All you have to have is a Gmail account. If you currently have a Gmail account, you probably actually currently have a Google Ads account. You probably just don't know it yet. So all you need to do is if you don't already have one, you need to create a Gmail account. This is a requirement because Google is Gmail and they want you to have a Gmail account. So they're very selfish that way. They will promote themselves to a fault. So you have to have it to use their system. If you already have a Gmail account, all you need to do is open up your Gmail. And just on the right-hand side, there's like a little box. And you're just gonna click on that and that will actually take you over to Google Ads. Is anyone looking right now? Okay, can I see your screen? Is that okay? Okay, so we're gonna go up here. We're gonna scroll down. It should be right here. You can put that. Will they prompt you if you've never done this before? Okay, so this is the screen that we're seeing, right? So it's gonna say, if you don't have any Google Ads account, would you like to create a new one? You want to? Yeah, okay.
I thought I'd done this before, I like signed up and then, cause I had a credit from
Okay,
Google and I,
so if you need.
no, it's not gonna be on a different account,
No.
it'll be for my account.
Okay, so let's try.
So,
Let's go back and maybe hit sign in then. That's what we did, so it's not linking.
weird, okay.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have been on another Gmail account.
Let me check if I go in through the
Yeah,
business like Google, cause
yeah, if you've got a,
if I go to Brambleberry Farm, it shows up my business profile.
Mhm.
I've gone, no,
Morning, spot.
I've gone in through this way,
Thank you. Okay.
advertise. And it shows that I have a credit, like they just.
Yeah.
This is different, like I think this is relatively new, like in the last 3-4 years.
Mhm.
I've had that. So last time I tried to do that, he was asking me for a little money and I was like,
Yeah, okay, I'll go through this with you and we'll sort this out, yeah. So the only thing with Google, you have to be very careful, is they will email you and be like, you have a $300 credit to use. I'm not gonna lie, probably wouldn't do that. I don't think it's super effective. Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. I would much prefer, if that's all you can do, then that's fine. But what they will do is they'll be like, here's a $300 credit. But then what ends up happening is you get into a little bit of a rabbit hole where you need to keep paying that because it's a monthly thing. They hook you up with a rep on their side, which is not always the best support. So I would probably just ignore them until you're ready to run them yourself or through like a local professional who can actually help you. The Google reps are sometimes great, but more often than not, they're just not like super invested in your business, right? So Google's a business like everything else. Does anyone need help navigating to where you find this right now? Okay, we can go through this later too. When I come around to everyone individually, we'll make sure you're set up with a proper account. But yeah, sometimes it can get a little bit complicated on the setup end, so we'll go through that with everyone. Okay. Okay, so I just want to do a little review of what campaign styles are actually offered through Google. So what can you actually do on this massive system? There's a lot of different campaign styles available. I'm only going to review certain ones today that I think will probably be most fitting for all of the businesses that we have in the room. The first one is search. As we talked about, that's bidding on keywords. Obviously, you know, if you put into Google food near me, restaurant near me, something like that, results that are popping up with that sponsored kind of flag, those are people who are bidding on those keywords, right? So they're paying for them. So you're using keywords to reach a very specific audience that's actually putting those phrases in. Something that's a little bit more new from Google is that they're offering broad match keywords, which means whatever you type in, if there's anything related to that search, they're also going to show you that ad. So if you put in food near me, but maybe you were, you know, maybe a keyword closely associated with that is like restaurant near me, or best Thai food near me, or something like that, and they may be able to connect the two based on a couple different factors, they may still show you that ad. So that's kind of a cooler change that has come in.
Good question.
Sure.
for you. So as you said, like these are the paid prospects, like food needing, all these people are paying. So being specific to the business, how do I find out what people are searching so that I can be on the top of the search list?
Yeah, so there's a tool in Google that's called Keyword Planner, Keyword Research, Keyword Tool. That's what I would use. So what you can do is you can actually change your city, country, whatever you want to be. If it's local, I would just keep your search to local. And then I would type in, you can actually do a couple things. You can put your website URL in, if you have a website, and Google will actually pull keywords that they think you should bid on because of what's in your website. But if your website's not super quality, that might not be the best place to start, right? Because they're going off of like words in there, all of that. Or you can just pick a different, you know, pick a specific demographic and type in, say, restaurants near me, that type of thing. And what they will do is they will actually suggest keywords to you that are related. And you can actually sort by average monthly searches. So you can see how frequently people in that city are looking at that word. Yeah, so you kind of have to do a bit of research.
And how about doing benchmark analysis with other companies that are similar to me, that what they are doing? Can we do the similar thing that can help or not?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly can if you have their consent, but if if it's your competition, it's gonna be hard to tell what they're doing. There's a couple different tools you can use to find out. One of them is called SEMrush. It's like an SEO tool. You can plug that business name in and it'll pull you some information about the kinds of keywords that they're bidding on. Depends on your industry. I have done it before. And I still do it because I think it's okay. But in the hotel industry, for example, it's frowned upon to bid on your competition's keywords. But it depends on your industry. So you could actually bid on your competitor's name so that when people search for that name, you come up. So I've seen that work really well for.
I don't understand, so bidding is like an auction?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So for example, you might have $5, that's your budget,
Yeah.
and you're bidding on a term. And maybe that term costs on average like $1.50. So your $5 would only bid so many times towards that keyword, right? So when you're bidding on keywords, that's why budget can come into play.
But how long is it actually, it's like, how, they have some kind of a cutoff or something? Otherwise, people just keep bidding and it goes up and up, or?
Yeah, exactly. It can go up. I mean, I've seen keywords cost $20-$25 per click. So that's why you have to be smart with what you choose, right? So I've had people hire me just to be like, what keywords should I use? Because I don't know. It is tough. You can kind of, I'll show you here in a little bit, the screen where you can look at all these keywords. It'll show you how many times a keyword has been searched and what the average cost is going to be. So you'll be able to gauge, like, is it even worth it to bid on that? Because if I'm paying $25 per click and I only have a $50 budget, I'm getting 2 clicks, right? Doesn't make sense. So sometimes it doesn't make sense. You really just have to, look at the average searches and the costs. Those are the 2 big things. Yeah, does that answer your question though?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The other kind of, so search is generally the most popular. That's how Google has grown over the years. They used to call it PPC. That's really what Google was known for. Now they've expanded massively, and they're starting to use a lot of artificial intelligence as well, which is changing the game. So if you really want to be on the cusp of being some of the first people to use these really advanced campaign types, you'll want to sink your teeth into the performance max stuff that I'm going to talk about. Performance Max, like I said, it's newer, and when I say new, it's like been a year, two maybe. But honestly, they drop new stuff all the time, but this campaign style is really, really freaking cool. It's probably my favorite. So back in the day when you would run campaigns on Google, you had to run a separate campaign for every little thing you wanted to do. So you would run a search campaign, and then maybe separately you wanted to run a YouTube campaign so that you were increasing your brand awareness, and you had all these separate campaigns. Performance Max allows you to do one single campaign, and you get on all the platforms. You get to be on search, you get to be on YouTube, you get to be on Gmail, you get to be on Discover. So what it also does differently is it uses AI. So I try to explain it to people like a Velcro ball. So if you picture a tennis ball wrapped in Velcro in the center, and then there's all these things going on around it, like search interest. So maybe, think of yourself. I'm going on vacation next couple weeks from now. So I've been looking up like beach bags, best restaurants in Dominican, bathing suits, all this stuff, right? So I'm the Velcro ball and I'm looking at all these interests around my vacation. So Google now is looking at all that information, says, oh, she's going on vacation. It's pretty obvious. I mean, look at her search interests, right? So now they know that if I was a travel agency or something like that, they're going to show me their ads, right? Because they know that the intent is there. The intent is there that she's going away. They may not know where I'm at yet in the journey, if I've already booked, if I'm about to, right? But they're very good at identifying who a potential customer is through all of these various activities that you do online every day. So I kind of call it following consumers around. Obviously, it's mostly anonymous information, but they do follow you around in a sense where they kind of build a portfolio around what you're doing, and that's who they decide to kind of serve the ads to. So it's an absolute game changer. I've seen crazy results with the clients that I've been kind of using this with. But I'll show you how to kind of build it later. But I think in terms of, brand awareness building, if you're looking for a compromise between people learning more about your business, but also getting more revenue and more leads, that's a really good campaign style to start with, and it's very cost effective. Search can be more expensive because you're relying on those keywords, and it's all about how much money it takes to get a click. Performance Max isn't only based on that, so it's a lot more cost effective. Your average cost per click is generally much lower. Display in the middle, I forgot to talk about that. I forgot to talk about it because I think it's going to be phased out, so wouldn't worry about it too much. Display is basically a very visually engaging ad that Google used to kind of serve to people. It is within Performance Max now. I think it will go away because no one's really using it anymore. It was generally used for brand awareness only. We would measure its success by how many people saw the ad. That's it. So Performance Max, I would focus on that a lot more if you're new to the game. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay, and then we have video. So as we talked about earlier, Google owns YouTube. So you can run YouTube specific ads on Google, which are really cool. So if you have any type of video that you want to use, all you have to do is load it to YouTube and you can run a YouTube campaign. Very effective for brand awareness, I think. Historically, not as good for converting people. It's one of those things where it's like you see a video and then 2 weeks later you're like, oh, I know that brand. Remember them, It's more so that for big brands, it can be really useful for converting. But for smaller businesses, I would say it's a really good brand awareness tactic for sure. And you can make them skippable or non-skippable. I'm on the skippable team. I don't really like it when YouTube gives me an ad and I cannot skip past it because I have a crying 3-year-old who desperately wants Cocomelon and I'm like, frig. So I like skippable because I think it gives the consumer a bit more choice, but you can do non-skippable as well. You can also run shopping ads. So you can use Performance Max and you can actually add all of your product inventory into Google and it will actually bring that up and there's actually like pictures of your inventory and everything. I've not actually used this before, so I can't say if it works, but it is an option. And then we have demand gen. Okay, demand gen is also brand new, and it is also powered by artificial intelligence. I get scared daily in my job, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, because there's a lot of new technology coming out, and it's very effective. A little bit creepy, but effective. So again, this is like very visually appealing ads that are multi-format. It was kind of created to compete with Facebook and Instagram. So if you're on Facebook and Instagram and you're scrolling through Reels, which are those vertical short videos that you're seeing all the time, this was like their answer to be like, hey, we're on the map too. We can do short video too. So the campaigns run on YouTube and Gmail, but again, this is the success of this campaign would be heavily dependent on you having quality video to use. But yeah, it's really, really good for brand awareness, and it's called demand generation. It's trying to generate demand for your business. So it's trying to grow brand awareness and trying to feed people to become customers later in the picture. So it's not necessarily a campaign where you would be like, well, I'm getting conversions from this right now. It's a long-term plan. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay, so how many people have heard of the sales funnel? Is that something that yeah? Okay, so I've never been a fan of the sales funnel because I feel like it's very simplified. And it kind of is. So it's supposed to really represent where people are at in their buying or consumer journey. So for me, when I booked my vacation, I didn't book it right away, right? Like that wasn't my first step. I sat there and thought about, I don't want to go on vacation. So I would be at the very top of my funnel, right? I'm just thinking about it. It's a dream at that point. Then I'm like starting to get a little bit more serious. I've lined up my babysitters. I'm in the consideration phase where I'm like, okay, I know I want to go. I'm considering it. I just need to figure out where I'm going and who I'm booking with. And then we move down even further and I'm converting. I'm booking that trip. Underneath that is something we call loyalty. So that means I've gone. I've had my vacation and I either really loved it or I didn't love it so much. Hopefully I loved it and I'm going to become someone who comes again year after year. But that loyalty really depends on my experience, email campaigns that maybe I get inviting me to come back, all of that stuff. So that's traditionally what the sales funnel looks like. However, obviously, we're not a funnel. Like we're human beings. So sometimes we start at consideration. Sometimes we jump from awareness to conversion. It's not that simple. This is really just a graphic to show you where each campaign style that we just reviewed would fall on the sales funnel. So for awareness, like we talked about, video campaigns on YouTube, display, demand gen, really help with that awareness front because people maybe they don't even know you exist. And that's your first step, that they need to know that you're there as an option. Then we run into consideration. So again, these are the people who are like, I have intent, but I don't want to convert yet. I need more time to like build trust and figure out what my options are, considering who to buy from. Performance Max that we talked about, great for that. Even search can be really great for that. When it comes to search, what I've done in the past is I have ran a search campaign with what we call an upper funnel keyword and a lower funnel keyword. So an upper funnel keyword would be more in this upper funnel area, right? Maybe it's more general keywords that we can bid on that might be a little bit more expensive, but maybe it's good because we just want people to know we're there. But if we're doing a lower funnel campaign for search and we want people to convert, those keywords have to be very specific, right? Because those people are looking up very specific terms. They're looking up, maybe best resorts in Dominican. Maybe that's more consideration. But if we did conversion, I think the resort name is Bahia Principe that I'm going to. So maybe we want to bid on that name brand, right? Because we want people to be like, oh, hey, we're right here. And we want them to be able to easily find us. We want to be at the top of the list because potentially other people are bidding on that term as well. So we wanna make sure we're right there. We don't wanna have any trouble finding us. We wanna make sure they convert right away when they get to that website. So you can use search for both. And then at the bottom, you know, YouTube can't help you a lot with loyalty. It can if you maybe run some YouTube campaigns or something like that to stay present. But it really, loyalty comes down to email campaigns are huge. Talking to the people, make sure you don't forget the people who are already your customers, because that's a huge, you've already got them, you just need to retain them, right? So email campaigns, if you have rewards programs, DMing them on Instagram sounds silly, but like all of these people you know are people from you, make sure you retain them. Do you have any questions about the sales funnel? I know that was a lot to go through. No, makes sense. Okay.
I have a quick question. So like my business, it can have, it's a property management business, so it can have no doubt the online awareness.
Mhm,
And it could be through some referral-based businesses where I'm getting more business.
mhm.
So if I have to calculate my return on investment of using this sales funnel process or going through this Google ad campaign,
Mhm.
how do I calculate what would be the ROI of the business that I've generated through this process? Is it really worth it for me, or should I be promoting some more of referral business? So how do I do this paralysis or analysis of this?
It's a loaded question. It would be harder for your business, is my short answer, because you would probably be able to cost average out what an average lead for you probably is valued at. Having said that, if if I can't actually track your revenue, because likely a lead for you is maybe gonna take, how many months would it take for that lead to come to fruition?
2 to 3 months, because
2 to
you're
3 months.
working back and forth
Yeah.
and all this.
Okay, so, tracking return on investment is way easier for a business who gets a checkout on an online store right away, right? Cause then we're like, okay, we know exactly, all we do is just divide that revenue by what we spend in ads. But to know for a lead-based business is a lot harder.
How about if we put it this way, the number of people who visited the website? and
Exactly.
How many people that were converted into prospect that were interested in talking to us?
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
would consider that as ROI in that
Yeah.
particular way.
exactly, and that's where it matters in terms of identifying what a win looks like for your business. If it's a lead form or just traffic to your website, all of those things matter and they will convert in the long term.
Yeah.
But what we do and what you can do in Google is they have something called conversion value. So when you set up goals within Google, you can actually give a value to each action that's taken. So if you say, okay, Google, a click to my website is worth $100. You're gonna actually see your conversion value. It'll add it up. So, $100 times however many clicks you had to your website. So you can develop that return on investment, just knowing that it's brand awareness or whatever it looks like, but there is a way to do it. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, just kind of wanted to, this is more like, administrative kind of, but when I first started Google Ads, this really confused me, so I wanted to go through it. So when you get started with Google Ads, there's basically a campaign structure that confuses people, so I wanted to go over it. So when you create a campaign, this is like top of the funnel. It's like the it's the highest structure possible. So here is where you pick your overall objective for the campaign. So if it's sales or leads or traffic, and this is also where you set your budget and your targeting. Then after that, so it'll be like campaign, and then you'll click and it'll go to ad group. You can have one or more ad groups. So in other words, you can have a campaign that targets all of Canada with $1,000 budget and 2 separate ad groups promoting 2 separate offerings, 2 separate services, right? The only drawback, I'm hoping that they change this at some point, is that you cannot set a different budget and targeting at an ad group level. So when you have 2 different ad groups, you have to make sure that they both make sense for the area that you've set, right? It wouldn't make sense to have 2 different ad groups in the same campaign if you're trying to target Ontario, but the next one you're trying to target the East Coast. You know what I mean? You have to be cognizant of that to create a campaign structure that works. And then you have your ad. This is where you actually upload your photos, your videos, your headlines, your descriptions, all that stuff. So that's kind of the way it goes. I just wanted to draw your attention to it because I've seen it in the past. I just started working with a client who had one campaign and like 5 to 6 ad groups within that one campaign, which is fine. But what was happening is she only had like a $300 budget, and all the budget was going to that one ad group because it was the most successful ad group. So that's kind of something that can happen if you want to control your budget and make sure each kind of service or product gets its fair share of ad spend and its fair share of attention. You may need to create a separate campaign for each of those. Otherwise, you can't control how much money Google spends. It'll just spend it where it sees conversions and success. So just a note. Okay, so we're gonna dive a bit more into Google search, and then what I'm thinking we could do is maybe we could have everybody share a little bit about their business, and we can see if Google search could be a fit. I was gonna do a mock setup of a campaign, but I kind of think you guys might just glaze over unless you want me to show you how to set up a campaign. We can either walk through and talk about everyone's business, and I can give you kind of some guidance as to what campaign styles might work, or I can show you how to set up a campaign. I don't know what would be more valuable. I don't want to do one or the other if you like don't care. So what would be better for you guys? Guidance. Okay. All right, let's do it. Okay. So like I said, Google search, you know, just all about the keyword selection. There's a keyword planner, which we'll go through. So let's start, maybe if, I don't know if you're okay over here. Sorry.
Oh.
Are you okay if we start with you? If you
okay.
can tell us just like 2 minutes about your business, and then as a group, we can kind of see if there's some ways we can help you in terms of maybe Google search is a fit for you.
Okay, I'm running an editorial services business,
Okay.
so I will be proofreading, copy editing, for independent authors, small businesses, that kind of thing, their ad campaigns and things like that, all the word stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. And do you see Google being a fit for?
Oh, that's why I'm here, because I wanted to see if it would work or not,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's, a lot of it will be referrals and word of mouth, of
Right.
course, but I
Okay.
just wanted to check this out and see if this was even an option.
Yeah, and so when people hire you,
Mhm.
what generally would they search for? Like what would be
Proofreading,
proofreading?
copy
Okay.
editing, that kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
Probably proofreading, that's the word everybody knows is proofreading.
Okay, okay. Yeah, proofreading is probably more, and
General.
this is the issue, not the issue, but the challenge with keywords. Is sometimes, I'll show you the keyword performance planner here in a minute. You look up a keyword and you're like, you think that that's what people would be looking for,
Right,
but then you see that like no one's looking for that.
well, like the little research I have done, everybody's proofreading, nobody knows what copy editing is,
Mhm,
everybody
mhm.
thinks they know proofreading is. But it divides, but that's more technical for me to know, not.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But that's why, you know, if you ever work with someone to help you on this front, like we would lean on you for that information, because
Mhm.
we would need to know that obviously to
Right.
go into it,
Yeah,
right? Like what is like layman's terms for
Yeah,
editing,
Yeah.
right? And for a lot of us, it would be proofreading,
Mhm.
you know, that type of thing. So that makes a lot of sense. So that would be probably an easy place for you to start. And it's local based, or is it
Yeah.
broader?
Oh, international eventually
International.
is the goal.
Okay, okay. Are a lot of your clients right now local
Local.
or local?
Yeah.
Okay. So for you, I would probably recommend, what I would do is start by looking at your keyword selections. So I would go, and I'll see if I can pull it up here, the actual Google interface,
Okay,
and show you where you can go to actually look at keywords and
Uh-huh.
see how many people within, say, 50-kilometer radius of us are 50, 60, maybe even 100, are looking up the term proofreading for small businesses, proofreading services, that type of thing. So you
Yeah.
can look that up. If there's a good number there, and
Yeah.
I would say you need like, sometimes it's like 100 people.
yeah,
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That could be a good thing for you.
That
because
would be
you
a good
probably
thing,
only
yeah.
need 6, 7 clients
Yeah.
to be like, well, I'm full for the month,
Busy,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So that might be an okay number.
Yeah.
Depends on your industry. If there's
Mhm.
100 people and the cost is like decent to
Yeah.
hit on those, you
Yeah.
could start with that,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But having said that, for you, I would probably test a Performance Max campaign.
Yeah, that's what I was
Only
thinking.
because maybe someone is still in the process of writing. Maybe they don't need you yet, but
Yeah.
you want to be there for when they do need you.
Yeah.
So Google's going to register that those people are writers,
Yeah,
that they're in that profession. We can actually target those professions.
yeah.
And then after, they're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna show this ad to this person.
Mhm.
So that hopefully you're building brand awareness. But you can also plug in to Performance Max search keywords.
Yes.
So you could still
Yeah.
put in proofreading,
Mhm.
editing services. So you have the best of both worlds there.
Yeah.
So I would probably start with that. I think it's probably gonna be more effective for what you're trying to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So if we have time after, we can go around and I can show
Okay.
you how to set up a Performance Max campaign, okay?
Super, okay,
Okay.
great, thank you.
Awesome, yeah. All right, what's your name?
Marta, my name is Marta, and I just prepare my business.
Okay.
And I came from Europe, and I am horse trainer, and coach. And my English is not enough to start to teaching, so
Yeah.
now I just prepare everything. I have a website.
Wow.
um, which is ready now to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use the Facebook and I make some video with my horse and my work I share.
Mhm.
And I have to go to find people.
Yeah.
Riding here in this area.
Okay,
And the other is I make a lot of video with my work.
Okay.
And I want to make a tutoring with what I sell online, even maybe here or everywhere.
Right.
Or in my country.
Okay.
So
Okay, so
That's my
this is
plan.
like, that's pure ignorance on my part, 'cause I don't know what a horse trainer does. So you are working with horses to make them better in terms of allowing people to ride them, that type
Yeah.
of thing? Okay,
I teach, and also I teach.
you do teach riding, okay, okay. So are you really looking for growing the training side or the riding side or both?
Both.
Both, okay. Okay, so that's pretty easy in terms of search campaign. You could do a search campaign pretty easily. So again, you just be targeting the local area, looking for people, especially the riding portion. I think that would be a bit easier to do Google search with because there's gonna be people looking for horse riding lessons, Belleville. That's an easy search query that there's probably lots of volume for. You just need to be there. So I'll talk to you later. We'll take a look at if there's volume for that type of search. I would anticipate there probably is. Is it seasonal?
No.
No. Okay.
Or I don't know, in Canada it's very cold.
I'm just saying, might be,
People
yeah.
don't like really riding.
Yeah.
In Europe, we have not really cold.
Yeah.
winter, So it was not season.
Yeah, so you could even, if it does end up being seasonal, I don't know anything about horses, but I would imagine, I don't like being outside in the winter, and if you get kids and stuff, they may wanna start like spring. So during winter,
Yeah, but I have cost in winter also, so.
Right.
I have to work.
you have to, yeah, exactly,
The
and
horse is eating.
yeah. No, for sure.
So.
I love that. No, it's so true. So, I mean, even if you do end up having any type of off season, you could still run ads. You might just, maybe not spend as much money, you may not need it. But then maybe a month or two prior to what you'll probably end up being your very busy season, you ramp up that ad spend a little bit to try to make sure you're really top of the list of people finding you. And if you already have a website, that's fantastic, so you can start right away, right? So I would start, you don't need to start with a big budget. I would honestly say like $300, $250, try it and see if you get some results. But I'll come around after and we'll take a look at the keywords and that'll help make a decision. On the training front, like actually like the horse training front, again, you would really need to know how many people are looking for that term and where they're coming from. So as you get deeper into your business and you get more clients, it may help because you'll probably find like certain people are coming from this area, certain people are coming from this area for this service. And you may be able to kind of tighten that up a little bit to know where these key people are who are willing to kind of do this service. But I would say Performance Max for something like that could be really, really good because the keywords may not be there. I don't know if there's a lot of volume for horse training, so you'd have to take a look at that. If there's not, I would do Performance Max. But I'll come around after and we'll take a look and we'll plug some keywords into our performance planner and see if it's there. But I think you could do it. I think it would be a fit for you for sure. Yeah, good luck. Congratulations on your business. It's exciting. Okay,
My name's Elaine, this is my mother Carrie,
okay.
and we run and own the Brambleberry Farm in Woolard.
Okay.
Fruit and vegetable growers, and I also run all the agritourism part of our business.
Okay. And agritourism, what does that look like for your business?
Lots of different programs about experiential.
Yeah.
Tours for youth, children and adults, hands-on workshops, wagon rides. We open our doors for pick your own produce.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
lots of other there's lots of other parts of the business,
Right,
um,
okay,
wholesale and
yeah. Farming is complex in terms of all the facets of revenue that you probably have, so is there anything in particular you're like, we really need to grow this area?
tourism.
Tourism, okay. And I'm sure fall is a great time for pumpkins and people coming to, see people come, small bit.
All bit, yeah, of ours. Some
Okay.
people can have their whole business regarding fall, but
Okay,
we are branching into fall.
branching into
So the
fall,
this is my 5th season
okay,
into the fall. So, somewhere there.
okay. Okay, and so we wanna grow in the tourism side of things, so when you say tourism, is it people coming from the GTA to have that farm
Can be from
experience?
anywhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sure people with kids looking for something to do,
Exactly.
okay. Okay.
Kids and then we have like adult, where a chef comes and cooks or.
Like
whatever.
farm to table experiences,
Yeah.
so cool, okay. Yeah, so that's like, I mean, honestly, if there was an ideal, thing to run on Google, it would be something like that, so I would say. There's a couple different facets, it obviously depends on what your budget looks like,
Mhm.
do you feel like brand awareness is high of your farm?
I do,
You do,
I
okay,
do.
okay,
I do, I think there's a lot of potential, and I think there's a lot of turnover in our communities where we have a military base. And, you know, I think that
Mhm.
there's still a lot of people that don't know who we are.
Mhm.
But then it's very interesting to see all the different kind of sidebars where you could do,
Mhm.
you know, like my Little Sprouse program or the Let's Get Growing program, and you could,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yes, but I think awareness, I want to be my top.
okay, yeah, yeah, I mean, I think, do you have video? Have you had ever someone come out and take some quality
I
video of your
do
experiences?
have-
Yeah. Okay,
I have some good photos and things taken
Okay.
through
Yeah.
photographers, but
yeah,
that's something I wanna look towards, investing
yeah,
for the farm, just have proper equipment to do it myself, cause
Yeah.
I really like all that kind of stuff, and
Okay. yeah. So if you're willing to do that, I mean, I think YouTube could be a really good,
that's what I was thinking too, I
Yeah.
wrote that down. 'Cause
yeah,
I've seen wineries come up on my own YouTube.
yeah,
And so, and then they had a nice video and whatnot, so I guess, like, I think I would have to invest in getting another video or a video per whatever you're trying to push.
yeah, like per quarter maybe or something like that, depending, but I mean, it's great, like, once you have a video, it's, you know, a couple seasons.
Like
you
the
use
Little
that.
Sprouse program, like and then I could, maybe just listening to your conversation, like maybe I would do that a lot earlier, like, put it out on YouTube or something in March and
Yeah.
look for, cause there's a planting program, like where it's a greenhouse workshop.
Okay,
So I'd have to put it out earlier, like advertising
Yes.
that on YouTube earlier than what I was thinking. And
yeah,
and then change direction, maybe send people to the website instead of to my place, because I'm not officially open. They
yeah,
have to book tickets to be able to come during that time of year.
yeah. Yeah, you could just do, you know, a simple brand awareness campaign on YouTube, say, you know, registration opening soon, because you get a little bit of text that's available with YouTube as well, so you can
Okay.
even put it right in your video if you want, so registration opening this day or whatever it is. And then maybe we follow up with the Performance Max ad, and what's gonna end up happening is whoever saw that YouTube video will see your PMax ad for the most part. Because again, we're pretty good at kind of following profiles around and understanding who's interacted with those ads before. And then maybe you put out a PMAX ad 4 weeks out from registration, and maybe registration's open now, and you follow up with that, right? I think that would be really great for like the programs that you're talking about to do a PMAX ad. Because with PMAX, you can get way more granular than you can with search. PMAX allows you to target parents within a specific age group, people with specific jobs, specific interests, agriculture, farming, outdoors, that type of stuff. That's all available. So I would do PMAX. I would try that. And then in your bread and butter is summer, like really like the key. Yeah. Okay. So summer, maybe do like, you could do a search campaign, because you could just be like, you know, you pick near me or something like that. Raspberries near me, you know, stuff like that. Like whatever the season that you're trying to get, that would be an easy search campaign. You probably wouldn't have to spend a lot of money. And then as you grow into the fall market, I would really focus on either a Performance Max campaign. For fall, honestly, I would probably do Performance Max, because you're gonna want to target parents, because we're all looking for something to do to get the kids out of the house,
Sure.
right? So do PMAX. You know, you've got lots of room there to be like, you know, pick your own pumpkin. Like there's lots of descriptions you can put in. You can add photo and video, and you can get really granular with the targeting. So that's what I would do. So yeah, it'd be a big fit for your business. You just need to decide when to start the campaigns and kind of gauge your data from there to see what's more successful, right? So yeah, very cool.
Interesting.
But I'll come around later and we can chat more if we've got time. Yeah. Okay. What's your name?
Florence is my name.
Okay.
And I have a couple of businesses, but the one I want to promote more is a business where I sell goods. I sell sash bags, so that's a brand that already exists
Okay.
on the market. And then also my lip straps, which are straps that bag. So again, it's on another brand that also exists on the website, like on.
Okay. Wow.
Now, so just trying to capture more of that market.
Right.
I do a lot of in-person events.
Okay.
Throughout this area within 9 kilometers or so,
Okay.
but I like to, you know, hit the GTA a bit more, like some bigger cities.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really fun.
Okay. So retail-based business mostly.
Yes.
Okay. And you like developed these bags and straps yourself?
No,
Okay.
they're brand, I buy wholesale. from them.
You buy wholesale. You resell them. Okay. And do you find you have like a specific customer that tends to buy them right now, or?
Demographically, probably 40 and up.
40 now. Okay.
Sometimes younger.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. And do you use Facebook and Instagram right now as well?
Yes, I have web pages for both.
Okay. Okay. And can people purchase them directly on the website?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. Yeah. So I mean, I think, do you find yourself competing? Like, if you feel like you had the biggest competitor, is it like the Amazons of the world, and like, or is there like a specific brand? Like, because I mean, these types of bags are very trendy right now, I would say. So I definitely want to capitalize on that. But are you finding like price point sticking point is like, are people just kind of like going to other people, do you think, that have ads out there who are pulling their attention in, or do you get feedback from the clients that like there's a reason that they're not purchasing right now?
Price point.
Price
can be an
point?
issue.
Okay,
Yes, because they have vegan version, but also leather version, so it helps obviously more.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And as far as competition, I mean, it's a pretty unique product, but
Yeah.
the one product that does come to mind is also impacts.
Like blue. Yeah. yeah.
So.
Okay.
Try to go.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think Performance Max for you would be something really good to try. I also think YouTube could work for you. So if you were able to set up a shoot, obviously this would be an investment. If you were able to set up a shoot showcasing the bag on a model, that would really help. So you could run a YouTube campaign for more brand awareness, but I think Performance Max would be really good as well. I think you probably just need to develop like what you think your unique selling feature of these bags is, so that you stand out a bit from, because I think there's probably so much, like, I have a Lululemon bag. So, you know, from your consumer's perspective, why this one? Obviously, you know, they're beautiful, they're quality, all of these things. But for the consumer, we need to put that out there, right? Like the special features, so include that in your Performance Max campaign as well. You can do photo and video in that campaign. And again, we want to do the interest targeting, right? So there's probably some men that buy the bags too, I would imagine. Yes. Okay, so you may not want to segregate it by gender. You can though, so you can only target women. You could only target, say, 35 plus. You could target people who are into fashion, people who, you know, that type of stuff, whatever you think the interest of the person would be. You can add that in. So I would probably test those two. I say not search because that would be a very specific search. And sometimes people don't even know they want something when they're buying like a clothing or a retail product until it pops up. Or it becomes something that's trendy. And I would say focus on Facebook and Instagram too. Make it shoppable. So if you have an Instagram account, load all your products to your Instagram account so people can actually click on the product, see how much it is, and actually check out right on Instagram.
You can do that?
Yep. Yep. There's a lot of different, a lot of different things you can do. It's complicated and, to be honest, the setup of the Instagram shop, sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's not. So if you have a tech savvy friend or whatever, you know, call on them to help you with it. But it is very effective. Instagram is massive for shopping. A huge portion of people go on there to shop, especially within this age demographic that you're talking about, like the 30, 35, even up sometimes are really big at shopping on Instagram. So definitely try that as well. Yeah, thanks for talking about your business. All right.
My name's Christine and I own Sun Worshipper Succulents.
Okay.
It's a brick and mortar store. I've
Okay.
been there coming up on 4 years. And, I know, I'm, as you probably already figured out with that last comment, I'm not very tech savvy.
Okay. Yeah.
I do have Facebook, I do have Instagram. I have a big anxiety about posting.
Okay.
I had some trolls and stuff and when I first opened and
Yeah.
I second guess everything that I write and
Of course.
you
Yeah.
know,
people are-
so I have a friend that's been working with me a little bit and she does a lot more of the posting.
Okay.
So but I'm hoping to get online for online sales.
Yeah.
And but my website, I have it with Square.
Yeah.
And I had a marketing firm come in, I got a $2,500 grant to come in.
Mhm.
And ironically, it cost $2,500 for them to do what they did. Yeah,
Yeah, that's how it works with those grants.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is that they changed my website and now I can't figure out how to do things.
Yeah. Of
And
course, yeah.
they left me like a shopping list of things to do that I don't even know what that is.
Right.
Right?
Probably
So,
hoping that you come back and hire them to do those
not for
things.
20, yeah.
I know how these things go. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, and that's the thing, like. Being there for 4 years, people are so like, I didn't even know you were here.
So
You know?
are you right on Dundas or you right on?
I am.
Okay, I'm familiar with yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so who thanks everybody. Yeah, no, I wanted to go in there forever.
Yeah. So how come you haven't?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know anything about succulents.
That's why you come to the store.
Yeah, but I don't know what would have been holding you back, really.
Yeah, because I do hear that
Yeah.
quite often, it's like, or people don't even know what a succulent is,
Mhm.
right?
Really? Okay, interesting.
And so I'm simplified, drought tolerant, low maintenance plants.
Yeah,
And
can't kill them.
Oh,
You can. I know you
If
can.
you look at my website.
Yeah.
That's one of the taglines that they wrote is like, have you been told that you can't kill your succulents?
I love that.
Yeah, or something like
Okay,
that.
yeah. Okay, so really just trying to grow the amount of people that are walking into your store, but hopefully get online revenue as well.
Exactly.
Okay, and sorry, forgive me, you're set up for online purchase right now or not yet?
No, so
Okay.
what the website is not turned on to take orders. As a matter of fact, there's hardly anything real on there right now.
Okay,
Because they used some clip art and stuff like that.
right,
And it said, you can switch to your photos or whatever. So, but, like, it's, Yeah, it's about being more aware and educating, because I do house calls, I do workshops.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, so, yeah, workshops and, I used to do vendor markets, but I don't do them anymore.
Okay.
Transporting my product is,
Sure,
actually, I should correct myself. I do one in Kingston that's very lucrative because it's directly targeted to plant people.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
So, but when I first started, before I had the store, I did vendor failures and it never panned out really, because who wants to walk around holding a beautiful
Yeah.
arrangement while they're looking around at other stuff?
Right,
And then it's the middle of freaking winter and even my bubble wrap stuff. It's gonna get cold.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
tough, just
there's a
logistically.
lot of challenges with that, with the product itself. too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And so when you say plant people, what does a plant person look like? How old are they? Is there a range of ages?
I think that, based on what, Square is telling me and stuff, that, it's women who are probably between the ages of 30 and 50 kind of
Interesting.
thing.
Okay.
But I also want to increase the number of men,
Mm.
because of, and quite often they want cactus and.
Mm. Okay.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, but I have like fantastic, the girl that's there loves cactus, so.
Perfect,
Yeah.
right, okay. Okay, interesting. I think there's a couple different ways, so, what would make someone come to you versus going to? I guess I have a couple different questions, there's so many areas we could go. So what would make someone come to you versus going to like a big brand like Home Depot who sells some succulents, but probably nowhere near the variety that you have? What's the difference there?
So you're going to walk into a store that there's, product knowledge
Okay,
and support throughout your whole. I'm there, you
Right.
text me, you message me, I'll answer what I can and,
right,
and I won't bullshit you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and I have rare plants.
Rare
So
plants.
I personally propagate a lot of my own, but I also don't buy many online for resale.
yeah,
I go shopping
cool,
because I want to see what the nurseries are dealing with.
right,
I want
right.
to see whether or not they've got bug issues and,
Love that.
like I just got back, it was 4.5 hour drive to this
Yeah.
show that I went to, but it was amazing.
Okay,
Yeah.
and this is year round, there's really no seasonal
No.
aspect to it, okay?
No,
Okay.
I mean, I want to branch out into the perennial side of it,
Okay,
but it's a little bit difficult with the setup.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on that, but every one of them is tailored to be indoor. You can take them out during the summer.
Yeah.
But they do have to come back in because
Right.
they won't last.
interesting, okay. Yeah, so I mean. I think you've got a little bit of brand awareness trickled in there, that needs work, but then you need the purchases, you need the people in the doors too.
Yeah.
So I think Performance Max again would work best for you, only because really it will help you grow brand awareness. In terms of getting your name out there, your store location, and by the way, all that becomes connected, your store location, your phone number, it's all connected. So once you turn these ads on, it's very easy for people to find your location. And the good thing about Performance Max is it gets you on maps as well. So those two things are connected. So if someone's looking for directions to go somewhere, you're gonna show up, right? And you wanna show up when people are like, plant
And
stores or.
it's interesting because like, so like there are, like they show me numbers, Google shows me numbers and
Yes.
stuff like that, so, and I'm not paying for any of that.
Yes, that's
Right,
organic,
so
yeah.
it's just like basic,
Yeah.
so number of links, and I have run ads on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So, and I've sent my budget and stuff like that, so that's kind of where I got a little bit of a feedback there, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I haven't maximized that
No.
boost,
Yeah.
kind of thing, so.
And the other thing that you can do if you do end up working with a company to do this, if you do like any, well, hopefully they would have put this in place. So we can actually pull, any marketing company or your website company should be able to do this for you. Pull the people who have actually visited from your website, and we can remarket to them. So maybe they found your website, but like they didn't end up converting. So we can also pull that list and build what we call like a lookalike audience.
Okay.
So Because that's really helpful, right? Like, if we know this is the kind of person that visits your website.
Yeah.
We can pull the list and create a lookalike audience to target new people who
Yeah.
look a lot like that customer,
Okay.
and advertise to them. So I would investigate something like that as well, but I do think if it worked for you, I would probably try Performance Max first. Yeah, thank you, very interesting, and I will stop into your shop. You've convinced
Not
me.
on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. All right, what's your name?
My name's Carla.
Okay.
I'm technically not the business owner. I'm here more to understand, so it's my daughter's business, the Piaf Shop. It is in the horse world. It's product, retail product, upper end product, for dressage riders, marketing Canada, US. I just wanna know when she talks, and she does have a Dash Activate who is helping us with our stuff.
Okay.
When they start talking, cause I pay all the bills, I go back in, I'm going, what do you spend money, what's this mean, what's that mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a better understanding,
Okay.
cause mother-daughter,
Mm.
sometimes in communication,
Mhm.
you're stupid, Mom. Yeah, I know, I don't live in your world of AI. No, you're not saying stupid to you, but they look
Yeah.
at you like, she's a software engineer by trade.
Okay.
So she talks to me and I go, what?
Yeah.
So really just trying to come in and get a better handle
Okay,
on some of the buzzwords and concepts.
okay,
So,
okay, so you don't necessarily need advice, just here to soak in.
yeah,
Okay,
I mean, we have
Yes.
a business that's been working with us and it's made a huge difference.
Good. Yeah.
So,
it's huge.
and when it's very specific.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more challenging to find that
Yeah.
business that understands what you're doing.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we've spent a lot of time.
So the business that you are like, is it local?
Okay, so she runs the Piaf Shop. It's from our residential, but we don't have a retail store because we're in the middle of nowhere, out in the country.
But you said that you're online, you have somebody helping get everything out there. and it's
Yes,
made a big
they're not
difference.
local. No,
They're not.
they're actually out of the States.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
So,
heard that, yeah.
um,
Sometimes people outsource it, and sometimes it's good if you're targeting the states. The states is a whole other beast.
Well, it is,
In
and
terms
it's a
of
very
economy
specialized
and-
product. I
yeah.
know. We don't compete with someone like Bridle Path. We have Derby boots, custom made boots, Mattis pads from Poland,
Right,
all upper end dressage products.
right,
Very focused on that market.
okay, very cool.
Working with Olympians, etc. So
Yeah.
again, it's me to understand
Mhm.
some of the lingo that goes on in
Okay.
so because this is overwhelming.
Oh, I
Right?
know, yeah.
Buying
it
ads,
is,
so what do you mean you pay per word? What?
I know,
And you have to have that explained, right?
yeah,
So, yeah, it's sometimes it's necessary
Yeah.
and, you know, the child, my daughter understands all this, but it's also your time.
of course, yes.
And, you know, when you're spending it working full time and this is
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
it's a huge investment into fun.
It is,
You
yeah,
need to, you know,
yeah,
pay someone to help you out a
Yeah.
little. I mean, you still have to do all your photography
Yeah.
and video and things like that,
yeah.
so.
It's a big investment. It's, you know, I work with people who spend millions of dollars every year just on Google. And it's, you know, obviously not everybody can do that, but whether you're spending $1 million or 300, the rules are the same. You know, the foundation's the same. You just have to find somebody who understands your business. So very happy that you did. And I've talked to a lot of people who don't have good experiences with marketing agencies, so I'm very happy that you found one that works for you and your
Yeah.
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, if you have any questions, let me know. Anything else you want me to help with or anything? You sound like you're,
No,
Yeah.
I just said this, yeah, we're doing that, and that's because I don't know,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now I can go back and pretend.
Yeah. Use all the fancy buzzwords that we talked about.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, well, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
All right, what's your name?
My name's Mally. My boss told me to come here.
Okay.
Kind of. She said, look at these courses, pick which ones you want. So I'm kind of here for two businesses. I work for a global gasket manufacturer. It's a B2B business. It's really exciting. So I It is not the most exciting, so I do marketing for them, so
Okay.
we do have Google Ads. She kind of threw that to me to figure out
Okay.
with like no training.
I
So
love that.
I
Okay.
kind of just have learned everything myself with like YouTube, so that's
Good
kind of
for
why
you.
I came here to like make sure I wasn't missing anything, because there's a lot of extra tabs that I feel like I don't even look at, I don't even touch.
Yeah.
It's functioning, it works, but so I
Yeah.
have Performance Max as one campaign.
Good for you, okay.
And then I have a Spanish display ad that I'm gonna change over to, because we have a lot of Spanish customers, I'm
Okay.
gonna change it over to Performance Max
Nice.
when I have time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I'm just kind of looking at, I guess, optimizing it. So I did have the idea of we're getting more global recognition.
Okay.
So basically the goal for the Performance Max ad is leads based,
Okay. Yeah.
but it's targeting internationally. So I was thinking maybe I could change the Americas to leads based, and then global is more of like a recognition, getting the journal out there. So
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was like a good strategy to
Absolutely.
propose. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes when it comes to international,
Mhm.
are you separated out by geo right now, by geographic region? Or are you targeting all of these countries within one campaign?
All of these countries within the global one, and
Okay.
then the Spanish one just targets like the Spanish speaking countries.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so if you do, I think switching over to Performance Max is a good idea.
Mhm.
You know, if you do start targeting extra countries, but like at this point, America is probably like your source of revenue.
Yeah.
Your bread and your butter. So I would probably make that a separate campaign so you can control what budget is going there. And then maybe have a separate campaign, just focus on brand awareness, like you said, with these other countries.
Yeah.
So you can also control the budget there, but you can also change your objective as well, right? So it's gonna gear it towards that. Yeah, do you go through your recommendations and stuff that are there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of it says like raise your budget, which I'm gonna pitch to her.
Yeah,
That's
That's
she does
not
the
really in your
money.
hands. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that's that one, and then I'm looking at launch. I do freelance design and social media, so I'm
Nice.
looking at launching like my own brand.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it would be beneficial down the line. I don't know if right out the gate I should do
Mhm.
Google ads or just kind of wait and see. Like my clientele's growing just by word of mouth, but
I wouldn't worry about it
yeah,
right now.
just
Yeah.
kind of hold on.
Just from a
Yeah.
gal who went
Who
through the
has
same
done it.
thing.
Yeah.
While we work online,
Mhm.
honestly, to this day, most of my leads are referral based.
Yeah.
Or organic Instagram.
Yeah.
So if you need to do it, I would do it.
Yeah.
But I don't, if your clientele is growing currently, you're probably gonna find your business very cyclical as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it unless you feel like you're like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Like if it's crickets, then, you know, put some stuff out there. You could do just like a brand awareness campaign that's not focused
That's what I
on.
thought of, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to get the name out there.
Yeah, just so people know your name, your business, your face, all that stuff. That might be a good idea. Yeah. Okay, any other questions?
I think that's it for me.
Okay, yeah, you're probably like, whoo, ready to, yeah. Okay, what about you?
Perfect. Sorry, I'm late. I was running back-to-back meetings.
That's okay.
So it's a great presentation, very informative. So I run a local business. I run a property management company that specializes in student rentals in Belleville region.
Okay,
My investors are local and many of them are from GTA region, Ottawa, Kingston,
okay,
but some of them are on Belleville. So my focus is, our key target is to have more investors invest into the student rental market.
okay,
That's what I'm targeting, and currently we are using Instagram as part of informative videos, educational
yeah,
things. That's how we're getting most of the business. We do have our website set up where they can book free consultation and
okay,
one-on-one call, understanding the market, how it's performing and all those things.
interesting,
Yeah.
okay. So you're looking for investors,
Yes, investors that are willing to invest in the Belleville market.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking for people who have a pretty high net worth then,
I'm looking for investors who wants to buy homes here and wants to rent out to student market.
interesting, okay. So is there a specific demographic that you're finding these people are they a specific age, or do they have like, are these like CEOs and executives, or are these like people who are just like, I wanna try to get into
It
investment
could be, it could be all around. So there could be
Okay.
some contractors who have some, because the price point is so high in Toronto region, then they're like, let's move out to the
I see,
another regions where the numbers make sense financially for them at the end of the day.
Okay.
Like as an investment.
Yeah.
It could be lawyers, it could be doctors,
Yeah,
it could be executives. So I do have people from all the different demographics, who are some savvy real estate investors who like to buy properties.
okay.
And they're like, okay, let's buy something well and all like that.
Interesting, okay, yeah, so, I mean, I think you've got a couple different options, LinkedIn is great for this kind of stuff, but you're already on Instagram, which is great. I think you could do performance max, I think it would work. You could also test demand gen, which we talked about, so that is a little bit more focused on awareness, so you're less in people's faces, but you're more so wanting to get as many impressions as possible in the right demographic that you're going after. We have a client who kind of same idea. They're looking for people who are willing to become franchise kind of hotel owners. And we do a pair, so we do demand gen just to get impressions, get the word out, and then we pair it with some performance max. And we find what happens is we're getting the awareness through the demand gen portion, and then we're converting people at the performance max level. And it's all lead forms, right? So we would generally point them towards that lead form to submit it online, because that's really how we're getting those higher quality leads. So I think that could work. Obviously with Performance Max, you're gonna want to put some interest in there regarding investors, property, like any real estate stuff. You're gonna want to include all of that. Obviously probably change your age range to make it appropriate to the people who are actually wanting to do this. Yeah, and then, I mean, it's a bit tough in terms of the market. Obviously Belleville's a little bit smaller. But you know, if you're going into the GTAs of the world, you may need a little bit slightly of a higher budget. But yeah, I mean, sounds like you know who you're talking to. It's just a matter of getting in front of them. So I would test demand gen and PMAX together, see what happens.
And will my geographically be, should I be setting up as Belleville and setting up the campaigns, or it should be GDA? So that's where I was like, okay,
Yeah.
like as you were talking about multiple groups, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to think, okay, how should I set that up?
Yeah, I would test it, right? The thing, my theory is always test, because you don't know the answer until you try. So I would try both. Try a more local, a more local campaign. So run that, but then I would also run one into the GTA, because I would imagine you would have more success with that, with kind of putting the message out there, like, you know, cost effective, you know, make more return type of idea versus what they're getting in the GTA. But I would try both, because you may find that it's more effective, but I would rather segregate out those campaigns so you can actually gauge results. Whereas if they're in the same campaign, you won't be able to tell,
You
right?
can see which one is performing and how.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So, you know, you're gonna need your GTA campaign to be a bit higher, it's just way bigger population, right? More competition too. You can also, so I do have like competition in the area, that you have for property. Rental.
I believe there is one that just started, like we were the ones, with the certain population, right, those students in the market, and considering and looking at the complex, the problem it was.
Yeah.
So we started building solutions, so more of the response has been great through referrals. We are already managing 250 students and
Nice.
we exploded to 30 properties, so that has been great.
Okay,
But just to get the outreach right and we have like correct sales funnel as you were talking about,
mhm,
so that we are not losing leads on the way of conversion.
yeah,
We
yeah.
leads in that.
Yeah, another thing you can try too, and what's available in Google, is you can actually take a URL, plug it into Google. And you can ask Google to target people who have visited that website or look like people who have visited that website. So I don't know if you're plugging in maybe your competition, or maybe you're plugging in people who have looked up, you know, websites that offer similar offerings. Maybe it's
Right.
schools.
That would be a challenge for us in a way, because we do have students visit our website to find rentals
Yes,
at the same time, and at the same time, the investors are also visiting to find the services.
yeah,
So how do you differentiate? That would be a key challenge as well.
yeah,
Maybe the age factor could be because the students would be in the certain age groups.
exactly, yeah.
And the investors would be definitely in the different. age groups.
Exactly, yeah, the age is huge, yeah.
I was just gonna say, is there a way of targeting individuals that are looking at commercial properties to invest in? Like on an MLS level or, you know, on a real estate level?
Yeah.
But it's, We don't own properties, you can only list it like when you're
But you're
selling.
wanting people to invest so that you can buy properties?
No, I
No.
want people like who have owned properties in the region
Okay,
to have our services to give it to students for rent.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's tough, but yeah, the age factor would be a huge differentiator, right?
When we're talking about LinkedIn, like how do you recommend approaching the LinkedIn aspect?
Yeah, LinkedIn is generally just better if you're looking to get to people who are more professionals. So if you're like, because it sounds like you naturally have the students going to your site, you don't necessarily need help with that. You need help getting the people who have owned the properties in the past to kind of get in touch with you.
Right.
So I would probably more so go through LinkedIn and try a sponsored post there just to kind of increase brand awareness about what you're doing.
Right.
Because it sounds like it's really an awareness problem. I don't think it's a demand problem.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like it's more of an awareness problem, and LinkedIn is known for just being a professional networking kind of platform. So people would be sharing, about your business, and I think naturally landing in the market that you want. So I wouldn't put a ton of money behind it. I've tested LinkedIn a bunch. I would just try organic, just organically be there, and be present on that platform to help grow your brand awareness. Yeah.
So,
Any other questions?
no.
Okay, okay. I guess we're at time. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. That was a lot. I thought we were gonna have more time. But we got through everything, which is good. Yeah, thanks for coming. If anyone wants to stay back and has questions, I'm happy to come over and help you, but if you have to go, I completely understand. But yeah, thank you very much for coming, and I can give Amy this presentation as well if you want to have it or reference. Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. Oh, that went so fast.